What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the one, the only Roy Hoops, coming back at y'all with a brand new video. But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, turn your notifications on, and share with your friends if you are a real one. You know, the goal for this channel will be, we'll say 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so that would mean the world if you could subscribe and leave a like. But in today's video, I am here tackling a debate that's been going on in the NBA recently. Is Trae Young a top 5 point guard in the NBA? It's going to be a kind of shaky subject because in my opinion, he is, but at the same time, a lot of people don't think he is. So, this will go down to you guys in the comments. Is Trae Young a top 5 point guard? I will be providing all of his stats from this season, and we will be speaking into the context of those stats. But let's get straight into this video. Alright guys, so let's tackle this once and for all. Is Trae Young a top 5 point guard in the NBA? I believe he is. If you don't, feel free to leave a comment on why you do not believe he is a top 5 point guard at the end of the video. But be sure to stay tuned till the end so you can formulate your opinion based off of that. So, for the season that he just had this year, he averaged 25.3 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, 9.4 assists, 43.8% from the field, 34.3% from 3, and on a 58% true shooting clip. Honestly, guys, that's insane. To be able to shoot 58% from your true shooting percentage, that's great. I think that's above league average, actually. And while also averaging 9 assists with 25 points, that's incredible. His 3-point percentage could be higher, but on the clip he's shooting, it's about league average. So that's good. He's at least an average 3-point shooter with shooting above average attempts. So that's really good. His field goal percentage could improve a lot, but he is a 6'1 guard in the NBA, so they typically have worse field goal percentage really whenever you're shorted. Look at Allen Iverson, for example. He was about 5'11 to 6'1, and his field goal percentage is pretty bad. He's an all-time great. Honestly, I don't think that your field goal percentage should matter as much, more so your true shooting should. And he's shooting about league average on his true shooting percentage. So that means he's shooting at a good clip, especially for being a small guard. But what's crazy throughout the season, he played 63 out of the 70 games. And he was, honestly, he had a bad start to the season. And his second half, he really turned it around. He really showed why we should consider him a top 5 point guard, if you will. Because he was throwing passes that were good. His team was winning. He was scoring the ball. He was playing. His defense is bad. Honestly, that's the knock. His defense is very bad. Trae Young is probably the worst defender in the NBA. And that goes without saying, bro. Honestly, I wish Trae Young was a better defender. I wish I could defend him on this. But no, he's not. He is actually the worst defender in the NBA, the numbers say. So that's kind of sad. But if he works on it, I feel like he has some sort of potential on that end. He can't really be that great because he is only 6'1", not very strong. He's kind of has a slender frame. So he's not like a Chris Paul, who's maybe short, but has a stiffer frame and is a stronger player, if that makes any sense. Honestly, I feel like Trae Young is just going to be an offensive juggernaut for the rest of his career. And honestly, this season alone showed that he could be an offensive juggernaut, especially carrying the load for a lot of the seasons, especially with DeAndre Hunter out a lot. Then they had to get their new squad put together. They had to pick up the pieces. They had to fix everything. Honestly, chemistry was starting to kind of fix itself around the All-Star break. So honestly, Trae could have done a lot better this season, but he's showing us that second half of the season is carrying on into the playoffs, which is very good, especially for his team to finish. I think as a 4 seed, they were a 4 or 5 seed. I can't remember. I think they were the 4 seed. No, they were the 5 seed. The Knicks were the 4 seed. My apologies. So they finished as a 5 seed. Well, starting off the season very bad. So they were mid-pack almost, about mid-pack in the playoffs. So that was really good, especially since they started off horribly. I think they were like the 10 seed going into the All-Star break, 9-10 seed. So they really shocked the world in that second half of the season, especially with Trae playing out of his mind. Because for the second half of the season, his numbers were incredible. They were like his last year numbers, about 29 and 10, I'm assuming. Not assuming. 29 and 10 were about his numbers during that second half of the season. So he was going crazy. But you already know, there's two halves to a story about being a top 5 point guard. The regular season and the playoffs. I am going to show you his playoff numbers, and this is where big stars are made in the playoffs. So let's get straight into that. Alright guys, so we're going to take a dive into his playoff stats, and I'm going to tell you the series he's won and the series he's in right now and what he has to do to win this series, plus why I think he's going to be the key factor in the series and why I think he's going to be the best player in the series. Well, Joel Embiid should be the best player, but I mean best guard, because Joel Embiid is just dominant. He's a top 10 NBA player. You can't really compare somebody that's like a top 20, 30-ish player to a top 10. So, the best player in the series will be Joel Embiid, but Trae Young will be a close second. But let's get straight into his playoff stats. So for this round, for the playoffs, he's averaging 28.9 points, so basically 29 points. 2.7 rebounds, exactly 10 assists, 44% from the field, which is up from his regular season, but he's at 32.2% from the three-point line, which is down, and a 57.4 true shooting percentage. Honestly, even though his true shooting percentage is down from the regular season, it's not bad. It's not a drastic dip. And also, you're going to be shooting worse in the playoffs. That's just the way it works. In the playoffs, the defense gets tighter. The pressure gets on you a little bit more. So you're going to shoot a little bit worse than what you would in the regular season. But otherwise, Trae Young is doing very well. He's shooting better from the field. Well, a little bit worse from three. On about the same amount of attempts. But that kind of happens whenever you're trying to play that same style of basketball that you did in the regular season that you're in the playoffs. And it's working so far. Trae Young's averaging 29 points, going crazy. They beat the Knicks in a gentleman's sweep in 5. And with the Sixers, they're competing right now. They won game 1, just lost game 2. Listen, I know game 2 was kind of bad, a 17-point loss. Trae kind of had a bad game. But that was his first bad game of the playoffs, honestly. He hushed the Madison Square Garden crowd. He put that team on his back. I know he had a lot of contributing pieces, but he was the main reason for that win, honestly. And now against the 76ers, he's doing very well. Like, he's able to compete with them, which is really what I didn't expect from somebody like Trae Young. Like, honestly, I thought Ben Simmons was going to be able to stop him, but so far, it looks like they found a way to make Trae Young be as efficient and as effective as possible while Ben Simmons is guarding him, especially through the pick and roll. It seems like the Sixers are struggling to guard the pick and roll against Trae Young because Trae Young is so fast and he has that possibility of just pulling up from deep. He can finish at the rim even though he's not able to dunk. He's good at drawing fouls, good at drawing contact. He's especially good at hitting his free throws at a high clip. He's hitting free throws at a very high clip. He was actually, I think it's 88%, 83 to 88% from the line in the playoffs, which is amazing, especially for a small guard to be doing it at the volume of attempts he's getting. Honestly, he shouldn't be getting that many attempts, but he finds a way to draw contact and gets as many shots at the line as possible. So honestly, props to you, Trae Young, for doing all that. But honestly, I feel like he could be doing better in the playoffs. I feel like what he should be doing more is execute on his shooting. I feel like he's kind of hesitant to pull up from 30, 40, more so just to take a normal shot, when we know he has the range to pull from 30 or 40, especially since they're giving it to him. The Sixers are kind of daring him to not run that pick and roll smoothly. They're kind of daring him to shoot, which is, if you watch the games, you see it. So honestly, my advice to the Hawks would be for Trae Young to get involved more on his shot, and as well, try and shoot more mid-ranges, because they're leaving it, because every NBA team leaves a mid-range nowadays. And that is going to be the key factor to beating the 76ers. Beat them at their own game, and that is scoring in the mid-range and in the paint, and play physical. Try and stop Joel Embiid. I know Trae Young is a liability against Ben Simmons. I know it's going to be hard. But try and get DeAndre Hunter on Ben Simmons and put Trae Young on Seth Curry. That shouldn't be as hard, because Seth mainly shoots threes. So, all you have to do is stick Trae near somebody that's around the same size as him, and hopefully pray that it works. But honestly, that's my take on it. I want to know yours. And as well, list your top 5 point guards down below in the comments. I would like to know your top 5. If Trae Young is not in your top 5, then explain to me why he's not in the top 5. But let's get straight into the outro. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to turn your noties on. We drop bangers around here, I think 5 times a week it'll be. So we're going to drop Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 4 times a week we'll be dropping a brand new video on this channel. So feel free to subscribe. We always talk about basketball. You're always going to get your fix for basketball talks on this channel. I will be posting consistently. The goal by the end of the year is 1,000 subscribers. Maybe we can hit it, maybe we can't, but it's not worth not trying. So be sure to subscribe. You help out that goal a lot. But with that being said, I am out. I love each and every single one of you guys that watch this video. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sticking around to the end of the video of this NBA discussion video. Bye.